Hello, everyone. My name is Charlie, and it's been about a month since my last recording. It's like an AA meeting. Welcome, everybody, back to Workers and Resources. I hope you're having a great day. I've done a whole bunch of stuff in the last... I had a holiday stuff, right? So I had to take a whole bunch of time off for this stuff. We have a whole bunch of new fields put into the farms over here. I finally gotten these things like flattened out sort of where I want them to be. So we have a whole lot of different fields that are being put in here, and we're gonna also go ahead and get a new farm put in place here too. So there's a new farm and all the equipment and stuff that goes with it. Just same thing as what it is over here. And that'll get us a whole bunch more crops and hopefully get this thing full so that we can start dipping into it a little bit later in the year, because right now it's September and, you know, we're harvesting. We got some more stuff to bring in, but it's nowhere near full enough, so I need to get that going. So while they're hanging on to this, I want to also just get a couple of things in place that I think will be temporary to solve the power issues that are in Cernikova, because we have those, you know, rolling blackouts going on over here. And I think a temporary answer for this is just to put in some green power. We may end up keeping this green power in place, but I think just for now, so wind turbine here until the rest of the infrastructure gets in, I think is going to be a little bit helpful. So I'm going to go in and put in one here. I think maybe I'll face it this direction. We'll go one here and then maybe one back here. No, okay, it won't fit there. We can put one over here then. So just a couple of wind turbines in here I think will make a big difference. Just to the rolling blackouts of it. So we'll put that there and we'll put that there, and they can get on with building those things too. We're going to set the workforces to be on these two things here. And we need the people to work there too. I mean, they could probably walk there, but I'll get the actual workforces designated for that too. Now over here, I'm trying to do some things. So what we're gonna do today, and you can tell by the thumbnail and stuff, the title probably, we're gonna be designing our airport today. It's gonna be very exciting. But before we get that done, like while we're doing that, I want other things in place. And one of the things that needs to be in place is power routing out this way, so, because we're trying to get it to be nuclear powered way out here, right? And so I've got this new high voltage switch put in here. This priority switch is kind of just sitting here, and it's hooked up to this, but right now it's not receiving any power. So there's nothing on the input side of this going in, only the output. And then these power lines are going out to various different, you know, places to provide stability for power, but we have to have something going into this first. And all of these switches are kind of maxed out, so it's really not something I can do. I'm limited by switches here, not by power generation. So I'd like to kind of bypass that a little bit. Okay, so what we're going to do is if we come over here by where we're putting the airport in, you're going to see that there's this long sort of line of disrupted soil right here. Okay. And this might be just really silly, but I feel like it's just something I want to do because it's simple, right? It takes a lot of labor, but it's very simple. This is an underground line. 12 megawatt is an underground line going out all the way underneath all of this through all, it goes above some of it, but underneath most of it. And then it ends up in a straight line, ends up right here into this switch located in this spot right here. Hello, autosave. So on the other side of Charlemagne's North, that switch exists. Okay. Now, it's only 12 megawatt, but if we find ourselves really wanting more, I could do another one. A 7 megawatt one. I don't want to, but I could. And so this switch, what it's going to do is carry that, you know, 12 megawatts to this point as the first connection to the power plant. Then from there, we're going to get another line you can see right here. We're going to get another line that goes all the way out here and connects to this switch. That is the second connection point. And then this switch can feed in to another transformer that provides stability in this area. It really, genuinely, I only need maybe 1 megawatt of power in here to provide actual stability. We're like 1.5 megawatts short. So that won't be a big deal. But having these switches like this is going to enable me to also make sure that Zernovsky can be nuclear powered, because we're limited by those connections. You get too many connections and all of a sudden it doesn't transmit, right? And then on top of that, it likes to pull power from the closest source, which in this case is really hard for me to override the border being the closest source, right? So I really would like to just not have the border at all being importing, because it's just maxed out all the time. So I don't want to pay for power over here anymore. All right. So the plan is right now is to have this massive underground line that goes all the way out here. It makes this the number one, or the first point of contact for this whole thing. Okay. So that's going to take like 17,000 days to make. I mean, there's an enormous amount of days that are in this thing. Even this line right here is 7,100 days for just that segment, right? And another 1,800 for that segment. There's a lot going on there, so it's going to take a very long time. But hopefully it gets done, and when it does, we'll have a really good stability in this area, but also just be able to have more green energy getting into this area in general. Okay, so I could have more. Another transformer. I could have additional substations and stuff that are nuclear specific. Okay, so I'm looking for stability there. And that's what we're doing in the meantime. Okay, so as a recap, more farms are here. We're making more roads as well. You can kind of see there's work in progress on some of the highways out this way, this highway over here. We're bringing this road all the way out this way. All of these things. We have this farm that's going in. Okay. And then all the electrical lines that are going to hopefully get it to where we don't have rolling blackouts in Zernikov anymore. The game is running quite poorly. And I'm feeling like, based on my experience with it so far, I'm feeling like 80K is like riding that line of fun to play. 80K is like riding right on that fence line. I think maybe by the time it gets to 90 to 100K, it'll probably be too slow at this point for me to really enjoy that gameplay experience at this point. But I would really like to get some of the really cool stuff that I wanted to get done, at least in place, before we call it quits there. So we have the helicopters as well are going to be building this stuff out. I've placed this harbor in Balru, I guess is the name of this area. I've placed this, and so we can then get the all the stuff situated with getting waste out of here and then hauling anything else we want out of here too with a boat. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's talk about the airport. So I've been kind of refining this little area here to make it all nice and flat. The airport area is super flat, okay? Now, I don't know exactly where everything's going to be positioned, but I have a general idea of where I want things. And one of the things I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to have some kind of underground tunnel that comes from this highway and kind of pops itself out in the middle of the airport so that people can get in and out of it and everything, and we can get the train stations and stuff kind of in that philosophy too, because the underground over here, you can see this area right here, right? This underground connection here is supposed to be that subway connection that brings the people to and from the airport. Okay, that's what this is. So we're gonna have underground access over here, people coming in and out like that. But I also want the road connection for buses to bring them that way too, because maybe they don't want to go this way. Maybe they want to go over here. Well, whatever it is, if they want to get into this point of town, I don't need them to necessarily ride the subway. Although, actually, that's, well, again, this is one of those things in the game where like you're playing it and you're trying to think about real life as opposed to how the game works, right? I'm not thinking about, well, my workers are going to want to go there. That's not what I'm doing. Okay. When I design the city, I'm thinking about real life. How would I envision the options for my citizens? Which is why we're using personal cars and things, right? Because it's certainly not the most optimal way to do it, but it's the way that it exudes freedom, okay? Freedom of mobility. So if it's going on that note, if you're in the airport and maybe you want to come over here, what's the easiest way to do that? If you're trying to get into Zernovsky, for example, what's the easiest way to do that, right? Well, the subway is going to take you to over here, but if you stay on it, then you'll end up here. If you stay on it, then you'll end up here. If you stay on it, you'll end up, like you're just going to ride the subway for a while, right? That's how that would work. But the subway never goes over here. So you would end up kind of, I think, maybe taking the subway into Charlevoix North and then riding a bus into town. That's probably how you would do it. However, let's say you are one of those freedom-loving sons of bees that really appreciate a good personal car ride on the open road. And maybe you are somebody who is, going on a long vacation across the map or maybe to another country, and you'd like to leave your car parked at the airport so that when you get off the plane, you don't have to, call for a taxi or wait around for the subway's schedule to finally get there and be around a whole bunch of people who are coughing and sneezing all over you, right? Maybe you're somebody who just wants to get off the plane, get through that security checkpoint real quick, get to your car, and drive where you want to go. So if that's the case, then there needs to be some kind of easier mechanism than, because there's like really no easy road in here if you're going to go in the middle. So I want a tunnel, at least one tunnel is where I'm getting at, that gets them to this highway so that they could drive out of here and get wherever they want to go from there. Okay. So that's kind of what we're looking for here. Okay. So let's look at the airport area right now. If we look at how the airport's area or the clearing is designed, it's basically this big rectangle, a little bit not quite straight there, but it's kind of a big rectangle and it's all very flat. Now, initially when I designed this, I had our airplane production being right here. But one thing I kind of overlooked while I was planning that is pollution, because I don't know, I'm just that smart, I guess. So if I go to advanced industry, you'll see the airplane production line can produce up to 56.8 tons of pollution per year. It is like amongst the elite buildings of the game that produce the most pollution possible. And placing that here, like 300 or so meters away from where people live, right? It's not a perfect thing. It's not a very good thing to place that here. Initially, this cargo train station was designed to deliver materials to airplane production so that we could deliver all that stuff and have that be connected to storage and everything. But the only way this is going to be useful is if the airplane places right here, but that's going to really just decimate this. I don't want to have to go through all of this to set up stable workforce for nuclear just to destroy that workforce with airplanes. So it's not quite as efficient, but it is what it is. I think I can make it work. I'm just going to move the airplane production line, which throws off my entire design for airplanes. So I guess we're just going to do the airport. We're just going to wing the airport right now, because the entire design I have in my planning and stuff is entirely based on this being here. But I'm not going to do that now. So airplane production line, instead of being like this, okay? Instead of being here, which is where I have it planned, I'm going to move it to be over here. Okay? And it's not as ideal, but we're just going to let it run. Okay? And so what we'll do is I'm going to back this up a little bit because I do need a little bit of space here. And we're going to go about, let's say, probably want to angle it this way. Yeah, let's go about here with it. Okay. Now, what we're going to need here, we have this road that kind of comes all the way across this and leads us into here. And this was originally supposed to be a road from this gravel road that comes out and connects to the airplane line, and we have a bus stop and all these things. Since that's not happening anymore, we can do a bus stop. It's just, it's going to have to be coming, the labor's going to have to come from over here further. It's going to have to come from over here now, a lot further. And I was kind of hoping maybe we'd get some people from Charlemagne's North to come down the highway, but it was going to be this highway, right, to work here. All of that is kind of a little more difficult to do now with this building located over here. But we're going to see if we can make it work. The first thing we want to make sure we make work are the places where airplanes are going to be made. So all the materials go in here, just like making cars, just like making rail, which we're not doing, just like making boats, which I have everything completely set up for, and I haven't even started yet. Isn't that just neat? So we're going to need the planes to go somewhere once they're made. They won't stay in here. They need to go into one of these airplane parking spaces. And there's lots of different sizes of airplane parking spaces depending on the planes we're making. Now, we're probably not going to be making the biggest planes, but having at least one of these so that we can make the biggest plane seems like a good idea, right? And so I'm going to take one of these And I think actually what I'll do, let's do the smaller one first. Let me just see how this goes. I'm kind of winging this right now because none of this is what I originally planned at this point. So we're going to put this, I think maybe, I think it would look better just being straight on though, right? It probably would look better being this way. Or we could do it, that's a lot of parking. I can't go like this because the airplanes need to taxi out of those arrows. And this needs to be directly connected through taxiways, at least, to the runway so that we can export these planes. So I think I will just go back to my original plan because I think it just looks better. We're going to take this 75-meter plane. This is the biggest parking spot for like the biggest planes, right? And we're going to back that up into here. Going to line it up with the whole thing. This looks pretty close anyway. And we're going to bring it over to about here. Park that there. And then right next to that, we're going to park another one. This gives us 2 parking spaces for these planes. About there. And then the last one we'll do is the 3. And it's going to be angled like this. And go like this. Okay. So this is where we're going to make the planes, is right in here. And so the taxiways for these end up being outwards and wrapping next to this. And you would kind of want to be away from it because remember, airplanes have wings. And those wings will extend out. So if you don't want your planes clipping, you kind of want some space between these things. And I'm not sure if we're ever going to have a clipping problem per se, but I'm just going to add a little bit of space anyway because I can. So it'll be about there, okay? And then this one will just go in like this. That's fine. They can do what they want to do that way, okay? So that's how the taxiways will end up being designed now. And then from here, we'll have this one go out just a little further, give it a little bit of space. And then this taxiway comes out and goes this way. And then all of these get to connect like that. All right, so with that out of the way, we're taking out this much space. Let's talk about arguably the most important part of the airport, and that is the runway. All right. Now, this airport is going to have 2 runway, and much like real world runways, we're going to have them kind of going off in different directions. Real world runways operate in multiple directions because the wind changes direction, and air control towers and such will have them basically approach or take off in the direction that is most favorable to them in terms of which direction the wind is currently going. So a lot of air traffic is done that way. And I'm going to go ahead and do it this way with this airport too. Now, the longer the runway, the bigger the plane that can take off and land there. And in this game, and in fact, I think I'm going to have to take this out just really quick. And maybe I'll pull this back. In this game, the biggest plane, or rather I should word it by saying that the plane that requires the longest runway requires 980 meters. So the longest runway you need in the game is 980 meters. And we're going to have one of those. Yeah. Okay. So I built, let me just hit F2 really quick so you can see the terrain. I've built this terrain out like this, and I kind of feel like maybe I'm going to need it just a little bit more. Maybe, you know, just like to raise the terrain just a tad bit more on this side to really bring this out. Now, I realize as I'm placing this that some of you guys are going to say, does this really matter? And when you're asking yourself that, just ignore the fact that it doesn't matter at all for the game. And I'm kind of looking at this in terms of the way I would think they would want it in real life. And this is kind of an ignorant take because I don't really have much experience at all with airplanes and airports, but in terms of like how they operate and how they decide to do things. But I'm just kind of thinking out loud of how I would want it if I was designing an airport in this, given my very limited knowledge. And I would think I would not want this thing right here to be at the very end of the runway. Okay, I would think that I would not want this to be pointed directly at the end of the runway. I wouldn't want that. Okay, yeah, that makes sense, right? I think everyone can probably agree that would be a bad idea. Likewise, I think the runway pointing directly at the nuclear power plant is probably not the best direction for a plane to be going or traveling. In terms of having an airplane that is coming, on approach directly over top of the nuclear power plant or taking off directly towards it. I think you probably wouldn't want that either. So on that note, and there's a lot of other cases too, like for example, directly at these buildings, I probably wouldn't want a plane taking off directly towards the smokestacks here, right? So where can we put the runway so that it's kind of got nothing seriously tall on the ends? Okay, it's kind of where I'm looking for, all right? And the best place for this, unfortunately, is kind of like directly through the middle of this land. But we're going to try to position things a little more strategically. And I had positions for these already mapped out, but because I've moved this building over, it actually has changed things a little bit because I did have a runway headed this direction. Since there's a runway, you could lift off and then you have a lot to go until there's anything tall at all in your way, and you could be over top of these things by now is the kind of the idea. But this is not it's not realistic, and we're not going to be able to do things completely realistic with the game. So anyway, so I'm going to take this airplane, this runway here. Remember, 980 meters is the longest we need. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically just kind of pop this right here at the end of this little area. And then what I want to do is come over here and just kind of figure out where the tall things are. So that's going to be these two wind turbines. So I think from right here, we can see that the plane is going to clear right between these things. But if the plane goes right between them, they're kind of pointed directly at the nuclear plant. But if I give it enough space, I'm hoping that that's going to be fine. So maybe we go about like that, right? So maybe we go about like this. So that's 1,000 meters. We don't need that. 980 is as long as we need. Let's go just a tad bit more than 980. Just to make sure the game doesn't lie to me. How about 987? 987 seems fine. So right here, we have a runway that, the plane would land on this, and then they could go this way. And if they're going to take off in this direction, they got there's a bit of clearance here. There's a bit of clear area here, and then these things aren't that tall. I probably wouldn't want these here anyway. Obviously, you wouldn't want any of this stuff here anyway. But, I mean, we're going to work within the limitations that we have, okay? And so this is kind of where we're going to be, all right? And I probably, even though there's a lot more egregious fouls here, but I'm going to take this tree out of here. Remove tree right here, yeah. This one too. Okay, so we basically have a plane you're going to have to pull up as soon as possible here. You're going to really have to pull up as smooth as possible. And maybe it is more important, I think anyway, now that I'm looking at this, it's probably more important that the runway has more room over here to lift off than it is over here. Maybe. So why don't we try to reposition this just ever so slightly, and we'll say that we're going to go like this instead. And maybe not this far back. Maybe it goes maybe to here or something, right? And then we kind of go maybe like that. Now, I don't know whether that's going to be pointing directly at the nuclear plant or not. That's another question I probably need to answer right now. So this goes between these, and it's not directly at the nuclear plant. I think we're okay. They would be able to, you'd be able to kind of just curve yourself through there. Sure. Yeah. We'll run with that. So this is the location of our first runway. So the second runway is not going to be perpendicular to this. We're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to go just a little off center. So it's going to maybe put one here, and then we're going to go maybe something like this. I don't really want to cross. Although crossing, does it allow me to cross? I don't think it does. No, I'm not going to cross. So I want to go kind of towards the mountain a little bit there, or towards this area. We're taking off in this direction. So we're going to say that this goes about this far. And we're not going to have it go super far because we want to give it enough room to lift up above these power poles here, unfortunately. But I was thinking of kind of pointing it to where it goes between these buildings, which is still not great, but, it's there. And maybe we have this runway be maybe like 800. We go like 800 meters or something. It doesn't have to be quite as long. So let's say 800 meters, 801, fine, is this one. Okay. So that's going to be where our runways are for this airport. I think it looks okay. That's pretty good. So this is all based on wind direction, right? Which direction is most favorable for a plane to interact with the airport. and then they'll use whatever one this is. But unfortunately, if you are in one of those planes that require a 980, you either have to approach from this side or approach from this side. So deal with the side winds if that's the way it is. Okay, so if that is where we're going to put these things, then our taxiway would connect here, and it would come up, and it would probably go here, or we could have it go this direction. I think it's probably better to have the taxiway go this direction. Okay. Now, how taxiways work in the game, it can kind of slow down planes quite a bit, honestly, the way these things work. It's like basically if there's any plane using that taxiway, the entire stretch of it, then the plane is going to wait until the other plane is completely gone in order to use it, which is kind of annoying, to be honest, but it's all right. So in other words, they're not going to line up behind each other like they would in like real life. So we're going to take this taxiway here, we're going to go about here, and then we're going to have it curve in and go like this. And that is going to allow it to engage with both of these runways, okay? And then this one here, same thing, we're just going to have it come out like this, and then it can go like that, and then this can go like this, and this can go like this. So in other words, if there's a plane here waiting for all of these, you know, things to be clear, these planes are going to stay exactly where they are. They're not going to move until they get here. But these are two runways that are going in different directions, right? Did the best I could with this building being in a different location, and kind of did the best I could, and I think that's going to work out okay. So the next thing I need to look at then is, like, are there going to be side roads and stuff that engage around these? And I like it that there's a little bit of a space here because it means I can put a road through here. So that's going to be nice. I might even be able to, now that the runway is in, I can probably go and do terrain smoothing right here and just kind of smooth that out a little bit. And now maybe I don't even need the tunnel that I was thinking about doing. I might be able to get away with, in this case, because that runway is there, I don't have to worry about the land warping now. I mean, I still think the tunnel has value. I was thinking about putting a tunnel here. I said that, right? Yeah, I already did that. So I was thinking about putting a tunnel there, and I may still do that just to get it into this area. But for now, I can actually have roads that engage with this into the airport here. So what we want to do is we're going to come over here, and I'm going to grab the airport road connection. This is required in order for basically any construction to take place in the airport. This is going to be required. So we're going to have to do something like this. And then I just need a taxiway, essentially. So maybe we can put it over here. We could put it maybe... actually, over here would work better, wouldn't it? I think it would. We could put this over here. Now, I do want to have storage for stuff in here, too. And we need to be able to, like, haul materials and stuff in here. So there's going to be some buildings and stuff in this area providing for this. These buildings were going to be connected here, but now we're going to have two sets of them. And so what we'll do is we're just going to have trucks bring it here now. Instead of having it directly delivered by that train, we'll have trucks deliver it here. Yes, I could build rail and bring it directly in here, but I just don't want trains to be stopping in this area. We already have enough of that happening. And then on top of that, it's just another station for them to go around. It's okay if they drop it off here. I'm okay with that. Trucks can bring it here faster than we can use it to make planes. It's gonna happen anyway. And plus, it gives me an excuse to have some trucks zipping around in this area, which I think will look good. It makes the airport look a little more busy having trucks moving around in here, you know? Because the airport's really not going to be that busy anyway. All right, so we're going to put a little warehouse here. I think this is probably a good enough supply. Can this fit here? That would be amazing. Ooh, it can. That would be very convenient, in fact, to fit here. But actually, I think I would prefer the parking lots to be there, so never mind. If we're going to build a warehouse, let's build a bigger warehouse. We'll go with this one. Yeah. So we'll have this warehouse be here. And this is kind of like your airport road sort of thing, right? Where we're going to say that we're making lots of deliveries through here and stuff. So we'll have the first delivery area be here, I guess. And maybe if I can connect it to that one, it'd be kind of cool too. Yeah, right there. Perfect. I like that. So right there. That'll be our airport... our airplane engineering sort of supply, our mechanical components and our fabric and plastic and all that stuff gets delivered here. Okay. And also, you know, it's kind of cool because the plastics are built here, so I could just have it trucked in instead of having it be brought by train. That'd be neat too. Okay. And then the second thing is, of course, the open storage. And this is where we're going to need to store our steel, but also our aluminum. Aluminum. Yeah. So let's put this. Let's put this right here. I'm trying to kind of keep it away from the planes. I don't want planes to have to go near this. Can I have you? I don't know if there's enough room for that road to go in there, but I'm going to try it right here. See if there's enough room for that road. Is there? Sure. Okay. Okay. So we have this. This is going to connect here. This is going to need to be asphalt. It's going to be a fairly busy road now that we're going to be hauling things through it. So why don't we get started on that? As far as building that road, let's take you out of here. This all the way through here, right? We're gonna want to keep this connected, unfortunately, because I don't trust that I can actually bring that back. We can disconnect that, and that we have 13% wear and tear in that. That's fine. So let's go ahead and get that gone. Okay, so this whole road should be good to go on making asphalt now if I want to. So we can go here, here, and then here. And all of this can become asphalt up to this point. Okay. I like it. And then all this stuff we can just wait to do that. But then in this area, this road's going to come in. They're going to have either their deliveries here or there, or they're going to come this way and they'll have the airport road connection be back in here. So we're going to say airport road connection maybe starts right here. And this is where you would go as a truck if you're trying to drive from the road into the actual airport area. This is one place you will be able to enter. And then you will enter via that road there. So we'll just have this kind of come down. I can just connect it here now, can't I? Pretty sure, yeah. We'll just connect it like this. Let's maybe curve it just a little bit. That seems good, yeah. There we go. And then you will go in like so. I'll probably make this a gravel road. It doesn't really need to be paved. It's fine. We'll make this a gravel road. It comes out like this. There we go. And then you can be like that. Yeah. But that's not important right now. So let's make sure that this is kind of unobstructed so that it can be built. Yeah. We'll get Magnetograd on this. They don't have much to do right now. So we'll just get them to do that. Well, I guess they are dealing with this wire here too, but it's okay. Okay. So this is airplane construction at the moment, right? But there's other buildings that need to go along with this process. There's other buildings that are going to need to happen. We need like places for, we need a cargo station, for example, for planes to refuel and things like that. We can put those in here now. Those are types of things that don't really produce any pollution. So they can go in here, and then they won't be in the way of the planes either because the planes are going off in different directions. And then we can also have the passenger terminal stuff be right in the center here. So you're either like mission control, flight control towers and stuff. They can be in here kind of near where the planes are going. So that's kind of cool. Okay, so now that that's sorted, let's talk about the next part of this whole project. And that is going to be, where are people getting in at, right? Where's our terminal going? So for this, we have the big long runway on the right and the shorter one on the left. And I want passengers, I think, to be kind of in the heart of it all. So just right in the center is where our passenger terminals and stuff are going to be. And I'm going to have to make a little amendment to how it's positioned just because of everything else being changed now. But I think it'll probably fit. We'll see. So first I'm going to go back over here, and we have two different terminals we can use. There's a bigger one that has 1,200 capacity and a smaller one that has a 400. I honestly don't think we'll ever get over 400, but I want to have the option, all right? Let's see where it goes. And we have the room for a big one, so let's use it. So for this, we have to make sure that we're far enough away from these runways that we can get the bigger one in there. But I don't want to get too close over here because this is where my cargo area is going to be. So I'm going to go something about, let's say, I'm trying to just do it with my eyeball. I'm eyeballing this. I'm thinking about here, I think is going to be good. All right, so this is where we're going to have our terminal. Now, from this, if you're not familiar with how this works, it's kind of, we've seen this before on like the hospitals and the fire departments and stuff. The green dots are where you will set up your parking for it. So you have different parking lots like we've already used right over here. So we have airplanes 75 meters. This is where the big planes will embark here, or where the big planes will load up. And we want to make sure that we are I kind of want to put these next to each other, but I want to make sure there's enough room for the other ones too. So let's go about here with this. I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to put this exactly where I want it, which normally doesn't concern me, but for some reason it does this time. Let's go right here with it. And then I'm hoping this will highlight for me. It will. Very good. We'll go right here with this one. All right. That's two places where the big planes can dock. And honestly, right here would work too. So it looks like it's going to give me a possibility for a third too, which is kind of interesting. It won't be lined up, but it's interesting. We're not going to use that, just these two. And then we're going to have one of these Airport 3 parking lots, and we're going to stick that over here on this side. And that will get put in as deep as I can go here, probably about here. Call it good. Okay, so that's our airport right now. And if I want another one, I can put a little one right here too, it looks like. So we have space for 2 big planes and 3 medium planes in this space. Now, most of the medium planes will probably end up using this one, but this will be available. Now comes the difficult part and kind of where airports get a little messy, and that is trying to route the taxiways so that all these planes can access both of these runways, and so they can do so without interfering too much with each other. That means having multiple roads, multiple different ways to use. So if these planes want to use this runway, there's really no reason why they can't have more of a direct route. So we're going to say we want to go about here with it. And then we can have this one is going to go out like, say, this out to this point. And so you guys will connect here and here. Okay, pretty straightforward. You guys are going to go, if you're going to take off on this runway, you're probably going to take off from here. I don't exactly know which side you take off from and which side you land from. I don't know if that's hard-coded from like the time where you drag it. So like, are the planes always going to fly this direction and land from this side? I really don't know how the game does that. These ones here, by the way, we should probably have one that kind of goes out this way too, just because. Okay, so from this side, what we're going to want to do is try to make sure that we're prepared for the eventuality of this thing needing to go that way. So I think I want to change this a little bit. It would look just a little bit cleaner if this was exactly alongside it. So if I go, let's say I connect it here, like I did before, but now this is going to go, I think, like this, straight line, this direction, and then connects it that way. I like that. All right, so you're going to go like that and like that. Okay. Over here on this side, these big planes, they can use this one. It really just depends on which planes they are, but like I'm thinking like the biggest plane, okay? The fastest plane, the TU something, I forget what it is. That one needs the 980, so these ones are going to get access to this one. And obviously these planes will get access to it too. So we're going to have this also come over, and I think I want to have you go in a straight line to here. It's probably a good idea, but then you are going to do the same thing. We're going to have you come straight line right alongside the runway, and we're going to have you go like that. Okay? There we go. And then this one is going to come over and come straight over like that. And we have this one here. And then I think that's probably it. We can do 2 additionals if I really wanted to. I could get, like, say, for instance, this plane wants to go to this runway. Right now, it's going to have to come over, and it's going to have to go all the way across this. There's a lot of traveling here, and these guys will all have to wait for that train, that plane, if it wants to do it. Which isn't great. Now, usually I'd say maybe go around the other direction and give them an alternate route and everything. But in this case, I think what I want to do is just create some kind of like an extra taxiway that it can go either that way or that way if it wants to. I know it looks a little messy, and it maybe be not quite the way I want to go. Maybe we can clean it up just a little bit, make it look a little more organized. So if I pull this away like that, if I take this taxiway, come straight line, let's actually make it a straight line. Yeah, right here. So we'll go out this way. And let's say from here, it goes over and over. And then you, I guess it really doesn't make it cleaner, does it? The idea is if there's a plane here, I don't want the plane that's on this road to stop and have to wait way back here. I want it to go up as close to this as possible. So having a different taxiways sort of managing taxiways like intersecting each other is sometimes advantageous, but that's not actually going to matter to me here. I don't think it helps me at all. Yeah, that doesn't really help me. Never mind. So we'll go like this, and then I'll just have you connect here, and maybe we'll have this separate road here. We could do something like this. So in other words, if I have two planes heading towards this runway or back or whatever now, they can pass by each other. Essentially is what I'm trying to do. I want these planes to be able to pass by each other. So multiple routes to go to the same place, right? Same thing with like maybe this right here too. Just an extra, plane can go this way while the other one is going to park, that kind of thing. I want them to be able to pass by each other. I hope that makes sense. And then this one can go out this way and then right to the end of the runway there. All right. So looks a little bit chaotic, but I think it will work okay. I'm hoping it'll work okay. Maybe we have an extra one right here. I think an extra one would be good. Just, again, I want to give these planes alternate routes. They can take a different path if they choose to. Okay. So the next thing is we need this passenger terminal to be hooked up to our mass transit, our bus network. We need the subway needs to come through here, and it also needs a road connection and stuff as well. So there's a lot of stuff happening here. I'm going to put a road airport connector right over here as well. So we're just going to stick one, I think, right next to this here. And then that can go and connect there. And then I'm thinking a tunnel is going to need to exist at some point here. And I'm not entirely sure where it's going to be now that it's facing the opposite direction. You know what? We'll figure that out once we're done with cargo, I think. Yes, I think I'll figure cargo out next. Okay, so cargo is next. And that's over here. I have to make a change to how that's laid out too, because it used to be over here in my plans, and now it's going to be over here. So, because I had airplanes being made, and then the cargo right next to it, and they were all hooked up to the same thing. So now they're not doing that. So, how about we, real quick, let's go ahead and grab the cargo terminal. So, cargo terminal has two different parts to this. There's the airport cargo terminal where the planes will come to it to load cargo before they head out, right? They're going to get passengers from here and cargo from over here. And then they leave. But this area also has a helicopter pad too. And I kind of wanted helicopters and planes to both use the same thing. The difference right now, though, is that this area where the helicopters could be taking off from is kind of directly in the path of the planes. So maybe I want to flip it to where helicopters are taking off over here. And that way the planes are coming from a different angle than the helicopters are. I probably should do that. So I don't know how I'm going to pull that off, honestly, but we're going to try it. So I think we start with storage so we can tell where it is. There's really no reason not to do a really big storage here, but planes and helicopters are actually fairly low volume. They can't really haul very much, typically, but we'll try to make it work here. So I'm going to put this over here so that the road connection is all the way back on this side if I can. And I need it to be in range of our cargo yards still too, though. So we're going to be about here, I guess. We don't need to use that road connection because it's already connected on the road here for fire coverage. So I can get right up close to this if I want to. So I'm gonna go here for now. We're gonna see how this works. It's a really low building, right? It shouldn't get in the way of the planes necessarily. You wouldn't really want that to be there, but whatever. And then, we're certainly not going to put a grain silo right here or anything. And then we want the open storage to be on this side as well as to be accessible by both, again, planes and helicopters is what I'm looking for here. So we're going to go, say, like, oh, goodness. How am I going to get that with the cargo yard, too? There's got to be a way to make it work. I'll just have to figure it out, man. Got to be a way. There's a will, right? And you know what they say, if there's a will, there's a way. Well, we're going to put that to the test right now. Maybe across like this. No, not like that. Stop it. I'll just do it manually. It's fine. We'll try. Oops. Where is it? Right here. Okay, I'm trying to think out loud how this is going to happen here. Which side is this? Road connection is on the wrong side, so I need to flip that anyway. Maybe not. I think so, though. I think I have to flip that. So if I'm here, if I'm here, I need to flip this to be this side. And now I can get that to be over here, and then the road can go out that way, maybe. But that's not going to help me with the planes. No, it's not going to help me with the planes. I'm trying to, like, I got either or on the helicopters and planes here. The way I did it before was, you know, I'm making planes here, and then I basically had helicopters were over here and planes were over here, and they were on an angle. So I'm kind of trying to replicate that on this side now. I just have to try to remember how all the buildings were assorted. It might be easier to start with the cargo plane area instead of the storages, but we'll see if we can't. Try to do it this way anyway. So we want this to go, I think, as far over here as possible. Maybe we'll try this, but then I won't be able to get the planes where I need them because they're here. Let me. I don't want to like be indecisive with you. I want to show you kind of what I'm looking at. I'll be right back. Okay, it's actually pretty easy. It's the solution once you figure it out, but here it goes. So I've got the warehouse here, connected here, of course, and then here's where we're going to load our steel or aluminum or whatever it is we're loading here. And then this is our airport cargo terminal. So we'll go ahead and put that in here for a size comparison. We also flipped it, so it's like this. And so you can see that the planes are going to load in here. So what we want to do is provide a way for large planes to get up on this. So we're going to go about here with it. This is where the large planes will come in on this side, right about like this A here. Okay, and then does it let me do a small one here as well? It'd be kind of cool. Yeah, so up to 3 smaller ones. I really don't think that's necessary, but I have the space, and you know, since I had the space, I might as well do it, right? So we'll go ahead and put this 3 in here like so. Okay, so 3 medium planes, 1 big plane can also attach here, and that's just to get, you know, steel loaded and all those types of things. So any cargo that comes in here on the train can go here. The solution for helicopters was so easy. It's just over my head, man. Most of the time, I don't see these helicopters ever interacting with this airport in a way that is meaningful, to be honest. But if the helicopters ever do want to get steel from this area, then they can do so by, you know, just kind of coming over here on the side. They'll do so way over here. All right, that gets them out of the way. Done. Easy. And if they want to do it over here with this type of cargo, that's cool too. They can do that. It'll just happen here. Okay, very easy. We're not going to load, you know, I don't really think we're going to need to load gravel or anything like that in here. But in the event that we do want to load any gravel or something, it looks like we have it in right here. So we'll just have to remember to engage with that. And so what we might be able to do here, I guess, is make sure that this is flipped. There we go. Just put that on this side instead, and done. So now helicopters can get in. They'll land here, which is out of this area, at least, you know, on landing and everything. So they'll land here, and they'll also engage with it over here. Very easy. Passenger helicopters probably are not necessary for any reason. We probably don't need any of this. I just want to see whether or not it will let me attach it to this, and it probably won't, so that's fine. So we don't really need passenger helicopters in here, but if we did need them, or if we did want them, they would go in this area, and people could get down passenger helicopters. They would do. I mean, I could put passenger helicopter like terminals all over the place, all around. Like in every city could have at least one. And then if anyone wanted to go to the airport, they could just take a helicopter to the airport. Seems kind of like a waste, right? You might as well just take the helicopter where you're going. You know, like I don't know why I would want to do that, but it's something we could do. So that's kind of our airport arrangement, but now we need other things. Yeah, so we need regular roads to come through here in addition to the taxiways. So first, let's figure out where the taxiways are going to be. Obviously, the planes need to get through here. And so this taxiway here can also spread off or go off this way, and then can work its way around to connect into this area. So we'll have this taxiway maybe come in here like so. And then these taxiways need to come out, and we're going to want them to be able to go to both of these runways, right? So I think probably what we'll do is we'll have you go out this way and then over and connect like that. And then maybe we'll have you go like this, right? That's good. And then the same thing over here on this side too. In fact, we'll probably go like that with it. Okay. And then all of you will want these to go this direction and then over like this to get in the airport on this side. So we'll have, maybe it could go this way, or we can just have it like this, right? Again, we want multiple paths here because planes need to pass by each other and only one plane on the road at a time. So think of it like this. If you're wondering why I have so many roads, think of it like this. All of these are one lane roads, okay? And only one car is allowed on one lane. So if you want to enter this road and go this direction, you have to wait until whatever is using it is gone, right? That's a bit of a problem. So in that sense, because we're probably going to do a little bit of cargo here, but I think most of it will be passengers. But if we do cargo here, I probably want to reorganize this to where it's going to do something more like this. This would probably be better to do. We go out like this, and then from here, and then you would come over and we'd go right next to it like this. Okay. And then we just have basically you are lining up like that. And that allows, you know, planes can use each one individually. Like if they're waiting for a plane to leave, they're like hanging out over here instead of hanging out right here. Right? That's the kind of thing we're looking for. That's what we're hoping. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. Okay, so there's my airport with all these. So yeah, the next thing is the regular roads and stuff. And also you might notice that a lot of these things have little spots for fuel, right? So we're going to need to store fuel in this area as well. And just big tanks of fuel every so often here. We're going to want to bring fuel in. And I don't really have any fuel drop off in this area, but what I do have is one here, right? So we have this dropping off fuel like that into this tank. We can pipe the fuel from this tank and we can bring it off to pump it somewhere else, right? So we could make that share, or if there's a connection left over, and there is indeed on this side, we could have like a big fuel reserve for everybody kind of right here in the middle sort of thing. So I could put it like right here, and then the fuel tanks can go off and get distributed from here. So I could say, let's go with something like this. We'll just have this road be like maybe here. Okay, so there's a tank there, and this will just go off into there. No pump needed, right? And then from here, we would want to pump it to wherever we're bringing it, but we want to have other sources of fuel. So we could have a fuel source maybe over in this side. We would want that to be on the road, not near this. So we could maybe put it here, for example, and then we want to pump. So it would be, we do an underground pumping station like this. This is fine. Maybe we'll go splitter like this, flip it over like that, and let's put it like right here. That way we can line it up with that one. So put like this, and then we just have it come out of here and into there, and then into here, out into that, right? And then this would just get connected once this road is done. All right, so that gives us a way to drop off fuel for the airport, bring it over into here, and then finally this connects direct, should connect direct anyway, over into here, like that. And then this will refuel the planes when they're loading cargo. And they'll pull the planes, or they'll pull the fuel from these tanks right here. All right. And then over here, passenger terminal as well wants this, right? So we'll want to have another set of tanks, probably over on this side. It needs to be connected to the road, so we can put it like right here. That's fine. Yeah, right about here would be good for that. It would work really well for that. Above ground pipe is fine in that little location. And then, you know, from here, we want to pump it. So we would be a little pump right here. And again, we want to make sure this is close to where the roads are going to be. We're going to have like an actual road here instead of an airport road. So it would be on this side. Let's say this is probably okay. Yeah, I think we can make this work. This is going to be underground. Yep, underground. Flip it right about here. So let's see if this will connect. No, but here will. Yeah. So we'll connect it like that. And then this one would go under. Do we want to do this? Ooh, you know what? Actually, take that back. Yeah, I'll take that back. Let's put this over here instead. Because it's more convenient to be placed here anyway. With the road being right here. Yeah, that's fine. So we'll go about here instead. Same amount of piping. We just, instead of going all the way over there, we just go here first and then we go all the way over there. Yeah, no big deal. Okay. And then this would get connected to this road once it's done. All right. So now we've facilitated fuel to here and here. I don't believe this needs it. Let me double check that. I don't believe this needs a fuel input. No. So when this plane gets, when a plane gets made, right, it's going to go into one of these lots that doesn't need to be fueled. And then if it's going to go on a route that takes it with passengers, it would then report there. If it's going to go on a route that takes it for cargo, it would then go over and report over here. In either case, it gets fueled then. And if we're exporting it, it has enough to leave. And it will just export direct without having to fuel. Well, aside from all the regular road connections, we also need a place to park regular planes as well. Just planes that have no purpose and aren't connected to any routes. We need a place to just store them, right? So we could do a 3 lot here if we want to, like along the roadside. We could put it over here. So I think that's a good spot to store some. And then we could also do another one, maybe a parking here. It's right next to all these. Right next to all these, and they're going to be very useful. Is there someplace else? I guess I could store them here, but I'm imagining this right here to be the outside of the airport. You know, like I'm going to put a fence here and everything. Like there's no airport here. So I kind of wanted it to be, how about we move it just a little bit? I don't want it to get in the way of those power connections. Yeah. So let's move this over a little bit. We'll bring it in right, I guess here. I can bring it in right here like this. Let's do it right here. So any planes that are just chilling, they got nothing to do, will be right there. And then we'll have another big lot right here. So this is another, again, a plane that has nothing to do will just hang out right here. So we have a lot there, and then this will all connect there, there, and there. I like it. I think that works out pretty well. There's a lot of stuff going on in here, but I like it. The control tower is another thing we need. We need an actual standard road connection for that. So that's going to be in here. At least it should have been. Oh, you're not going to let me put that there? A little too close, isn't it? All right, it's fine. We'll put this right here. Control tower. And again, people need to actually, you know, work here. This might be too close to the runway. I think a wing is going to clip that. Let's put this in a little bit more, like right about here. Can I put it in here? Man, it would be nice to put it in here, though, wouldn't it? Yeah. Like, this could be the control tower. Would be nice to be right here. I like this better. In fact, a walking path between this would be really good. So let's put it right here, actually. This will be the control tower right there. And then we'll just get rid of this pipe and make sure that this is connected underground instead. Wow, that's absurdly long. There we go. Okay. And then we'll just make sure that the walking path that's going will go through here. It should fit. It should fit. Huh? Really? Gonna be that way? I mean, it's because of this. Yeah, it's gotta, okay. So I need a little bit of a gap here. No problem. We can fix it. There's always a solution. Yep. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. I definitely don't want that to happen, so we're gonna get rid of that. I don't want any little thing sticking up out of the ground, so we'll get rid of that right now. Let's put the walking path in first. We can do that instead, right? That would be more effective, I think. Like that. Yep, and it goes around the front side of the building like that. Okay. Now we can place... Not sure why I'm underground. Now we can place our fuel. Could just be here, I guess. That's fine. And then under into there. Yep, seems good. And then from this side over here. Okay, you're doing weird things, but you know what? I'm fine with it. There you go. Just like that. Okay. There's our fuel source for everything. Okay, now the roads. We know that the roads are here. So what I want to do is have this. Two things. I think another access point over here would be cool to have. It's so redundant. It's really unnecessary, but I just think it'd be cool. So we're going to do it. Because that's the basis of what I do for everything. If it's cool, I'll do it. And I think it's cool to have yet another one right here. Another access point for the trucks. Okay, so this road can come around. Let's actually just connect it here. There we go. Now this will come around this way and over. And we're going to want a bus stop. Bus terminal. I think right here would be a good spot for the bus terminal. And we can put it... It's got to be, I was going to say platform, I guess, but station, but it doesn't need to be that big. I think this one here is fine. 800 passengers is fine here. We just want to make sure that it's coming in and leaving from the right direction. So it's going to have to be kind of like this, I guess. And then people can walk from there. And it can, they can go that way on the walk. Okay. And so we'll have this road come straight through this way, and it's going to end up basically being a tunnel right here. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess. Yep. And it will come down like that. Okay. Now that gets us out of the airport. We can bring that tunnel up wherever we want it to be. So at this point, we're kind of done, but we want to make sure that we're getting where we need to be. So I'm going to go this way and like that with this walking path. Seems fine. Make sure all of this is just, yeah, there we go. The big walking path there. That's good. And then the road connection comes out from this side. I guess it'll go out like this. And I almost want to reverse that. I think reversing that would be ideal, right? You would want it to come in from this side and, yeah. The buses are going to be coming from this way, so I guess they go like this in a circle. Maybe that is the correct direction then. I mean, what the alternative is, it goes... Oh, it's still going to be the same thing. Yeah, there's no way... Okay, never mind. It was corrected already. So never mind. Put it back. Good enough? I think good enough. Wow. It really doesn't want to be there anymore, does it? There we go. Bring that out. Yep. Go this way with it, and then... Yep, like that. And then you come out and over like that. You will connect here, and you will connect here. Okay, then. And then you're here. And you don't really need to be... You're just a fuel tank, so you can be gravel. Gravel, yep. And I think everything else is fine being asphalt. Yeah, this is fine being asphalt. Control tower, cool. We're obviously going to want people to be able to park through here to go to work at certain places, so we can have some cars be able to be parked right here too. I think that'd be fine. So have like a couple of parking lots maybe. We have garages now. Where did these come from? Holy moly. There's parking garages now. This must have been in the latest update and I just didn't know it. That's crazy. I'm all for it. That's crazy. It's very cool. Oh man, if I only had this. Wait a minute. Now I should do that here, right? I should get rid of all these parking spaces and put garages in here instead. 10, 20, and 32 spaces. Where did these come from? I know where they came from. I'm just super happy that they're here. It's very cool. Okay. Now I'm kind of wanting the garage to be here and the tank to be somewhere else, because the tank doesn't need to be here. The garage would be better off here now, yeah? So let's do that instead. So one more time, little pipe. One more time. Get rid of you. And then 32 spaces. Indeed. Very good. Yep. That's where the parking garage is. And then once that's already connected. Yeah. So once more we do our fuel tanks once more. This is fine. You know what? We could just put it right here. I don't want the plane's wings to hit it, and it really doesn't need to be that close. Or in public view at all, honestly. It doesn't need to be in anywhere that's public view. I can put it over here, even. But whatever. It's just gonna be here. Whatever. I don't care. I'm done. I'm done dinking around with things that don't matter. Okay? Here. That's done. It's permanent. I'm not moving it now. All done. All right, so this is a parking garage for 32 parking spaces. That's enough, I think, to handle, you know, people who work in the terminal and people who are going to be in the air traffic control tower, right? All those things. That's neat, but we'll also have the bus so people can get on the bus too. And then obviously people are flying in from all over the place. Hopefully we'll see a thriving setup that way. No, so then the last thing we need here then is the subway terminal. We need the trains, right? The metro. So how to get the metro in here? So the metro is an underground station, and where is it? It's over somewhere. Yep, in this area. I remember how this works. We're gonna have a underground metro station here without entrance. And we're going to place this. Yeah, right here would work, I suppose. Yeah. Right here would work. It would be very close to where people come out. I think maybe something... I kind of wanted it to be underneath this. And I actually managed to accomplish very close to that in my mock-up. But I'm not going to be able to do that here. Can't build due to infrastructure. Yeah, I think it's that. Yeah, it'll let me do this though. That's neat. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so that's very close to what I had before. I had mine more centered, but this is okay. And then we're gonna say that this is just a quick gravel road there. So this underside here, it connects, of course, with the underground pedestrian tunnels. And so we're going to have their pergola. Nice. No, it's going to be this one, metro entrance. And it just kind of comes in. Oh, come on. Let me put it there. Please. Can I please put it there? Man. But it's such a good spot. Come on now. Don't be that way. Let me do it right here. It just needs to be a little bit further away, darn it. This'll work. That'll be fine. Is it gonna be a straight line? No. Nobody will care. Yes, bask in the glory of a squiggly line. All right, I don't think that's even necessary, but we'll just do it anyway. So that gets us the entrance to the metro now too. So now anyone coming in on the metro can also just directly engage with the airport. Very nice. And so now the last steps in this whole process is, where does the tunnel come out? Which in this case is just going to be a road. I just need to figure out where that road is going to go, because it's not going to go to the same spot as it was before. Because before it was going to connect over there. So now it's going to connect. I really liked it to connect over here. I guess I could also just... What if I just make this lake a little bit smaller? Put the fence line here, and then the road can go all the way across here. That's not a bad idea. You know? Not the worst idea I've ever had. In fact, it might even be one of my better ones. I don't have very many better ones, so we're going to do that. It's going to take a while because I only have one bulldozer in the entire area. But, you know, and I just got done doing the terrain leveling thing, but, you know, it's okay. It's okay. Just do that. Just around the outside like this. Surprisingly fast for one bulldozer. Cool. Okay, so if this road does work, it does go around the outside. It does indeed. There it is. So you just wrap this road around like that. Right, that way I can have this... I guess I don't need the tunnel to bring it in here. I can just have it be connected direct. Nice. All right, cool. And then the road will work its way out. I mean, I can kind of do it anywhere I want over here, but the important thing is that the tunnel comes out, so it needs to come out. So we'll just have it be from here, and then it needs to be long enough to where it can get out. There it is, right? Like that. That's fine. Yeah, that works. That works for me. Cool. So that's it. So now everything that happens in here happens, you know, for a reason. Everything that happens over here is just going to happen without any plans, because I have no plans for it at all over here. But that's how they'll get out with the buses and stuff now. And we have many different access points for everything that involves this airport. You see why you need a lot of space for the airport. And I like it. I think it turned out okay. There's little gaps in space here. We can always have like trees. We can put some other decoration stuff, right? There's lots of different things we can maybe do in here. I could just paint the area so that it doesn't have any green space, but I think it looks better with green space personally. And then we obviously want to get this road to come out, and I could maybe have this road come all the way over this way, maybe run alongside the rail. At this point, this road right here, for example, could just continue straight around this way. That seems like a really good idea. And then I could maybe tunnel, bring it into here. It wouldn't be out of the question to connect that highway road and have it come out over here. So there's lots of different things I could do that way. But the important thing is you guys see now what the plans are for the airport. Okay, and I managed to post this video on a Wednesday. But I did say that every Wednesday I miss, I would add 2 weeks to it. Or I would add an extra week, right? For every week I miss, I add an extra week. So it looks like we're playing this at least until the end of March now. Congrats. It actually might be closer to mid-April if I was sticking to my word. But the important thing is I just want to get this done. And I want to get my aluminum setup going. I want to get the Western City over here going. And then I don't think I'll have the time, because at that point, you know, we'll have so many people in here, the game will probably just completely die down. But if it does still stay alive, and I want to get this area moved over here, right? And if it does stay alive, then I can get maybe my little plans I had over here done. And then I wanted to have another city, right? I wanted to build another one way over here just to do it and see about, you know, hauling stuff over this way, having a trade route over this way with boats and with planes, having a little airport over here for the planes to zip around and bring things over there. There's a lot of stuff that we could do, but yeah. Anyway, there's our airport tentatively. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just submit that now for basically everything that's part of this plan. Submit. There we go. I guess the walking paths should probably be submitted as well at this point. And I'll reconnect them and get them all, you know, connected properly and everything. But this allows us to, at the bare minimum, our construction crews are at least going to be doing things, right? We have a place to now, we certainly have a place to bring the gravel at this point. We certainly have a use for asphalt now, right? So there it is. The airport is, the plans are laid out for it. Okay. And I'm sure we're going to add little things all over the place, propaganda stuff even. We'll add some stuff around here to really give it a good flavor. And a lot of this stuff is probably not even going to be used. Like helicopter pads here are probably not going to be used much, to be honest. You know, I don't know. We'll see. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate you. I'll get the subway also connected here too, by the way, because you can see this is going to have to come this way, right? The subway will come from here, and it'll come all the way around, just so you know, for later. It can come all the way around. It'll connect on this side, and then it will go around and leave back the same way it came. So it's not gonna loop. It's literally, this is like an end of the line thing, and then it turns around and goes back the other way. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.